What's good, y'all? It's your boy Juice. Welcome back to Between the Lines, man. Um, Today we're talking about the most talked about topic for the weekend, really. Tua Tagovailoa and whether he should retire. Well, he's already said he's not retiring, but I think this is a conversation that we need to have as fans, as a Dolphins like community, you know what I'm saying? Um just because I've seen a lot of tweets, I've seen a lot of videos, a lot of everyone's opinions, and I just felt like I needed to give mine as well. But it is very touchy when it comes to something like this because nobody wants to see their starting quarterback, froze up on the field. Like nobody wants to see that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's more where it's coming from as to why people are saying he should retire. After the first time it happened against Cincinnati, everyone said he should retire after that. Just because it was on a big platform and basically nobody expected that. Like nobody knew how to react to that. Okay. After the first time, all right, we overreacted a little bit. We were scared for him a little bit. Cool. He came back, he played fine throughout the year. Cool. So now it happens again, and it's like, okay, is anybody, is anybody seeing this? Like, is anybody noticing the pattern? Because it's not like I don't think it's something that we should just push off to the side. Now I do want to say while watching it, um, people tend to jump into making a decision off of their emotion. So I understand why the Dolphins don't want to like make any comments or just dive straight in to say that he shouldn't retire or he should retire. I understand that. He has to go through some, probably test and see other specialists and doctors. That's cool. That's cool for him to go through that. But he still has to worry about his health as well. I understand he still may want to play, but to what to what extent? Like how far is he willing to go? Like it starts to get scary at this point. Like think of it think of it in a scenario as if that was like your family member. You wouldn't want your family member out there again. He's done honestly, he's done a lot for the Dolphins. I'm not saying that I think he should retire. That's not what I'm saying here. I just really like care about his health, Like is this something that we really want to see happen again? Like what happens if it happened again? God forbid. What happens if it does happen again? Then what? Then does he retire? What if it's a lot of ifs, and I hate playing the if game, but at this point it's already happened twice. It's already happened twice, man. I saw another post also about the Bills fan base donating, I believe, over like $50,000 to Tua's foundation. I think that I'm not a Bills fan. Let's get that out the way right now. We not supporting the Bills, but I think that was a very like kind gesture, to support his foundation. Even though we're big rivals, I still think that was a real classy move from a lot of those Bills fans. Even though we beef every day, but that's for on the field stuff. That's for football stuff. Like this is serious, like real life stuff. Like aside game aside, that was a classic move by the Bills. So I just wanted to big up the Bills one time. Ew, that sounded crazy. Big up the Bills? Never, never, man. Um, but yeah, this is a serious issue. I do think that we need to figure something out sooner rather than later. I have a strong feeling he's gonna sit out about 3 weeks, maybe 4. I think he'll sit out about 3 weeks to let a lot of the Tua hype and his concussion die down before he gets back on the field. He walked off this time. He walked off the field. Um, he seemed fine, after. I mean, you'll always seem fine. Concussions, I don't know if, any of y'all watching had concussions, but concussions aren't, it isn't something that always, like, hinders, like, your ability to move, or, you can act normal and still have a concussion, but I feel like at times you can still be, like, impaired. Like, certain things can still be impaired there. But I really do feel like we need to start making, like, decisions thinking ahead, like, as far as the Dolphins go, because now we have Skylar Thompson, who's going to be starting, and I really don't know. I don't know if he's prepared. I don't know if we're prepared. Like, questions are now coming up because of this situation. Like, other questions that we should have been asking, like, why didn't we go get someone that can back up Tua, knowing he had a history of being injured? We spent money in every other position, like getting depth in every other position except quarterback. Why? We felt okay with Skyler, right? Don't get me wrong. I've seen Skyler play. I think he can play, but if you're not a starting quarterback in the league, you don't get as many reps in practice. So sometimes it's like, if you don't use your skills, you kind of, you got to get that rust off. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's still gonna be like a work in progress for Skyler to get back in motion of being like, okay, I'm a starter. I start. I got to work with the ones, and just for him to get back in motion of running those plays and getting reps and understanding certain concepts, or how defenses play us. It's different. It's different. It's a different game. And I feel like, to be thrown into that, like, you have to be good to respond, to take your team basically to a win. That's hard. That's a hard job. But I think he'll be all right. I did see that they were trying to talk to Ryan Tannehill. Also, I think they say CJ Berthart, something like that. I think they said he was familiar with Mike McDaniel's offense. Tannehill, I don't think Tannehill's coming. Just to be honest, I don't think Tannehill's coming. They already said Tannehill is looking for a starting position, and he wants to start for, like, the rest of the year. Yeah, not happening. Not happening, man. I don't like the fact that we didn't put any insurance, like, to cover ourselves. Like, why are we putting, like, all of our eggs in one basket, if that makes sense? So I understand that Skylar's our backup, but now we're going out looking for another backup quarterback. That's telling us something, that do they not believe in Skylar? They'll say, "Oh yeah, Skylar's our guy. He'll be our starter. We believe he can get it done." But we still need another quarterback. We went and filled our roster with so much depth, and so much depth that still can't even see the field. It's crazy to me. It's so crazy to me, man. This it's just beyond confusing at this point. A lot more questions are being asked. For example, I'm seeing a lot of people starting to ask, okay, you know, let's say, injury aside, concussion aside from Tua, and also Mike McDaniel, the play the play was horrible. The play was horrible. Like, to be honest, up until he got hurt, the play was horrible. We were driving down the field. I'll give them that. But at that point in the game, it felt like it felt like lifeless. It felt like the energy was low. It felt like nobody wanted to play anymore at that point in the game. It felt like we had already given up. Like we were just out there running through the motions at that time. I honestly feel like Tua was the only one trying to keep the energy up. He was trying to give our team that spark. I feel like him and H was the only ones I feel like actually trying to like give us some life to, to try to swing that momentum back for a comeback. That's how I feel. I really feel like that. But it just wasn't there. For some reason that drive, that force, like it wasn't there. The energy was off. If you were watching the game, you know what I'm talking about. Like by the third quarter, the game was done. Like it was really at halftime. The game was over at half. You felt that. You felt that. We hoped that they came out with urgency like they did in the previous game against the Jags. That's what we were hoping for. When they came out, they showed little spurts, but like I said, Tua was trying to push the team. Achan trying to do his best. Achan did his best. Tua tried. He tried to swing that momentum until that happened, and then once the concussion happened, that just took it way under. Like wherever the energy was at, then it dropped right back down, and it was just like, okay, boom, we basically waved a white flag in the third quarter because our starting quarterback got hot. I mean, our starting quarterback got injured. Literally, we waved a white flag. That's not a playoff. That's not a playoff team. That's not a playoff team. You got to fight through. You know what I'm saying? You got to fight through things. It's not, everything isn't gonna come easy. Everything isn't gonna be perfect on your team. That isn't how you win. Next man, you gotta treat it like next man up. We hope he's okay, but next man up. Let's win this for him. There was none of that. Like, come on. Mike McDaniel did not call a good game either. I didn't like what I seen. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Everything was, I don't know. I felt like the Bills, okay, we play the Bills 2 times a year, right? All right, Mike White is Mike White is their informant. We know that. Okay, so they probably have a little bit of insight on us, but the Bills offense didn't do anything spectacular, and we couldn't stop it. If you look at the Bills stats, Josh Allen had 139 passing yards. James Cook had 11 carries for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns. And we lost? What did they do? He didn't even have 80 yards. Josh Allen had 139 yards. He didn't do anything. He did not do anything. Like, if you ask me, he had a very relaxed game. He didn't even have to run the ball. Josh Allen had like 2 rushing yards. We got 0 pressure on the quarterback. Like, do you understand that? Tua aside, like the injury aside, that was a bad game. And we're trying to make a playoff run. I don't like it. I don't like it. Something got to change, man. I don't know. Even though in this case the O-line wasn't the issue, I do think you need to realize that you have a quarterback that needs an O-line. He needs to sit in that pocket. If they did their homework and seen, how Tua played in college, I understand you're not going to have the best O-line, but Tua's at his best when he has the best O-line. That's just the type of player he is. Some players, they don't need that. Some players need their O-line because they need that extra time. And that's okay. But you just got to realize the type of player that you're dealing with. I don't know who's in charge of that, but that should have been a key. That should have been a key point in making that decision and drafting him, or not even drafting him, because we drafted him what, about 4 years ago. That should have been a key decision in us us drafting after him. I watched a video of the GM Chris Greer laughing, saying, "You guys probably care about the O line more than we do." What? Your quarterback needs an O line. He can't. I like I said, I understand. He gets the ball out fast. Sometimes it it's better to sit in the pocket and let things develop a little longer. Sometimes that's better. DBs can't cover for long. So if your O line can hold up, DBs are beat. Come on, that's but man, I just wanted to come on here really, and just talk about just talk about the matter at hand right now, and what we dealing with as a team. I do think we need to make some better decisions moving forward. We need to look ahead right now. Um, I understand that they're still gonna try to make a run with Tua, but it's like at the end of this season, what is our choices? What are we looking at here? What are we looking at here? Are we still gonna push for Tua to continue to play? Like, he can finish this year playing, but what about after that? It's a lot of questions, a lot of small questions. We'd love to see him to continue to play, but it's scary. It's scary seeing that, and I don't want to see that again. Like, I don't want to see it happen again. How can we prevent that from happening? That's really where I'm at. So, like I said, more we'll probably have more news throughout the week, as far as like the new quarterbacks that we'll pick up, or um, Tua status. We'll hear some more videos coming. Y'all stay locked in. Like I said, it's your boy Juice. Thank you for listening to me. I'll catch y'all on the next video though. I'm out.